What up, Mustangs? So today, we're going to be talking about combining like terms and the distributive property. So this is a page that you have in your iPod, so you'll want to take these notes on that page. First thing we're going to do is we're going to define what like terms are. So like terms are the same variable or variables raised to the same power. So an example of like terms would be something like 5xy squared and 7xy squared. So if you look at these two, you'll notice that they both have an x all by itself. They both contain a y raised to the second power. The coefficients on like terms don't matter. All we're looking at are the variables and the power. All we are looking at are the variables and the powers. Alright, so we have some steps that can help to combine like terms, because sometimes as these expressions get really long, it's really hard to find all of the like terms. So this is what we're going to be doing each time we go through and we combine like terms. So step one is to draw lines in front of each plus or minus sign to separate the terms. That way we can actually see what all the terms are. Then we are going to color all like terms the same color. You can do this with a highlighter, a colored pencil, a marker, anything that has the different colors in it. Then we're going to simplify each color group into one single item. So for our examples here, I'm going to be using highlighters. In example 1, the first step that we need to do is we need to draw lines in front of each plus or minus. So I've got 5x, and then I'll draw a line because there's a plus. 4, draw a line. Minus 2x, draw a line. Plus 3, draw a line. So I've separated all of my terms here. Now what I want to do is I want to color or highlight all of my like terms. So start with the first term. I've got a 5x. So I want everything that is like a 5x. So what makes it a like term? It has to have the same variable raised to the same power. So I'm looking for everything that has an x. I don't care about the coefficient, I just care about the x right now. So 4, there's no x with that, so it's not a like term. The 2x, yes, this is a like term, so I'm going to highlight it, including the minus sign. 3, nope, there's no like term there. Oh, but here's another minus 2x. So those are together. Now I look at the 4. So the 4 is just a constant. All constants go together. So 4 and 3 will go together with each other. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take each one of these groups and I'm going to simplify them individually. So let's start with my x's. I've got 5x minus 2x minus 2x. So all I'm doing here is I'm just doing 5 minus 2 minus 2. Think of it this way. I've got 5 monkeys. I'm going to take away 2 monkeys, then I'm going to take away another 2 monkeys. So the variable, it just carries along with the math. You still are just working with the numbers. So we're combining 5x minus 2x minus 2x. So that gives me 1x. You can write the 1 or you can leave it as x. Then over here I've got a 4 and a 3, and that combines to be a 7. So I'm left with 1x plus 7. Now some of you might be thinking, well, how did you know that it was a plus? Well, because 7 was positive. So since 7's positive, that's why I put the plus there. If 7 would have been negative, then it would have been x minus 7. But 7 was positive, so we leave it as the plus. All right, so let's look at example 2. So start by drawing your lines. So 3x squared, line, minus x, line, plus 7, line, plus 5x, line, plus 2, line, minus 2x squared. Always start with your first term. So my first term is 3x squared. So if I'm looking for like terms, I'm looking for terms that not only have an x, but that say x squared. So when I go to this second term here, this is just negative x. There is no squared on that. It is not a like term. X squareds and x's don't play on the same team. The 7, nope, there's no x squared there. The 5x, nope, there's no x squared. There's an x, but it's not x squared. The 2, nope. Minus 2x squared, yes, because it has an x and the x is raised to the second power. So those are definitely like terms. All right, now go to the next term. It was a minus x, so I want everything else that has an x in it, a plain x. 7's not going to work, but the 5x will work. 2, no, and negative 2x squared, it's already taken. Once you've highlighted it or you've colored it, you can't use it again. So then for my last one, now all I have are constants, and as I said before, constants always go together. So now I've actually got 3 different groups here. So let's start with the 3x squared minus 2x squared. Again, just treat the variables like they're animals. I've got 3 elephants, I take away 2 elephants. How many elephants do I have left? 1 elephant, and the elephant is the x squared. So I've got an x squared. And then we've got, now do the green group, negative x and 5x, and that gives me a positive 4x. So since it's positive, I can put a plus in between that. And then the 7 and the 2, that's a positive 9, so I will have a plus in between there. The next thing we're going to talk about is the distributive property. Now, we went over this at the beginning of the year. So the distributive property, what you do is you take the number on the outside of the parentheses and you multiply it by each number on the inside of the parentheses. What this does is it gets rid of the parentheses. Anytime you're solving an equation or simplifying an expression, in order to be able to combine your like terms and simplify it further, you have to use the distributive property to get rid of your parentheses. All right, so let's look at example 1 here. So I've got a 4 on the outside of my parentheses. So to get rid of my parentheses, I'm going to take the 4 and multiply it by each term on the inside. So 4 times x, that is just 4x. 4 times 3, that is a positive 12. So 4x plus 12. Now example 2 is a little bit trickier. When you want to get rid of your parentheses, you always do that first. Do not subtract 5 minus 7 first. That is wrong. You'll go to math jail for that. What you want to do is you want to take the number in front of the parentheses and multiply it by each term on the inside to get rid of the parentheses. So now here's my question to you. I see that there's a 7 right in front of the parentheses. Is it a positive 7 or is it a negative 7? If you said negative 7, you are correct, because there is this minus sign that goes with the 7. If there is a minus in front of the number that's in front of the parentheses, when you distribute, you want to distribute with the minus sign. It makes a difference. So now I'm going to take this negative 7, multiply it by 3x. That gives me negative 21x. And then negative 7 times negative 2. Negative times negative is a positive 14. But I'm not done here, because what did I forget? I've got this little 5 out here at the beginning. He needs to be brought down. Don't forget to bring down any other pieces of your expression or your equation. Now I'm still not done, because I can combine like terms. So how do we combine like terms? Well, isn't that awesome? We just talked about that. So I'm going to go through, draw my lines. Remember, you draw them before each plus or minus. And then we highlight our like terms. So the first term that I have here is a 5. It's a constant, so I want to go find all my other constants, so that's 14. And then I've got my negative 21x, and he's kind of all by his lonesome. So my final answer, if I add the 5 and the 14, that gives me 19 minus 21x. All right, so make sure that you fill out the video summary that is below this video, and we'll catch you on the flip side.